and welcome to Cory's Corner. Thank you all for joining us live and, of course, for watching this on replay. Make sure you're subscribed because YouTube is hemorrhaging out those subscribers again. It might be the fact that I stopped releasing music, but yeah, we're going back down again. That's fine, though. I'm not in it for the sub count. Joining us today is the wonderful Jason Fox. How you doing today,
Ah,
sir?
I'm doing pretty well. Kind of was a day off. This weekend I had a day off, relaxing, been reading a little comics here and there.
Nice.
Been watching some old Power Rangers actually, because I did watch the new bad Power Ranger series, Cosmic Fury. And the creator of that show, he wanted to move away from the Super Sentai and what made Power Rangers popular, and they made it more into an MCU style thing,
Eh,
MCU humor, and I'm just like, that doesn't work. It's bad. They brought Sordon back, because he died
yeah,
back in the day. They brought him back. Lord Zed back. He came back in Dino Fury because Cosmic is the continuation of that, and but it's not like him, it's like the evil version of him, because you have like a nice version of him after he got purified and normal again. And
right.
then you have like this resurrected evil version of him. And it's just really bad, so I went back to watch some old Power Rangers, like back from the good
Hell
old
yeah.
days.
Hell yeah. With the Green Ranger and all that awesome jazz that was like, dude, the Rise of the Green Ranger was one of my favorite things.
Oh
Let's say
yeah,
hello to the chat. Yes, rest in peace for sure for
Yep.
him. Jason Fox, of course, in the chat. And as we saw a minute ago, there's Vince Womack. Hail to Vince Womack. Always great to see you. Radioactive. Hail and happy Monday. Uh, happy in quotation marks. Um, Nate D, hail, popping in on my lunch break. Well, I hope you enjoy your lunch. I hope you have some good foodstuffs.
Mhm.
Made some homemade spaghetti and meatballs last night with my wife's patented recipe,
Oh,
and
nice.
shit was delicious. And I might have more of that here in a little bit. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about food.
Mm,
Spaghetti and meatballs.
I do like
And
spaghetti and meatballs, so.
that's good shit, dude. And my wife, like, I've watched her make the meatballs like a billion times, but I have no
Yeah.
idea why they taste so good. I have no idea. I'm all like, okay, it's pork, it's beef, breadcrumbs, some cheese,
Yep.
just like I normally would, but a
Yep.
million times better when she makes them. I'm like, wow,
Yeah. She
wow.
puts a lot of love in it. That's why,
She does. That's the secret. Mine's mostly just like, okay, I have to do this.
I had it.
uh,
Oh, no, I
cooking,
get that.
cooking is really fun. Do you cook a lot?
Yeah, I do. Normally I do. Where I live right now, I have some problems with the kitchen here and stuff, so I can't make food at the moment. So I have to like order or use the microwave and all that kind of stuff because there is some problems here. I'm just waiting for the house load and them to come and
Yeah.
fix it. But before that, I always make food from the bottom. I normally make Asian food
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Tikka masala is one of the things I
Ooh,
love to make.
dude, I love tikka masala so much. And I know it's
Yes.
technically bastardizing the dish, but I love it with chicken. Um,
Hmm.
Nate D says, just a slam hammock. All right, those are always
Yeah.
good.
No. So what I normally do with my tikka masala is that I make it like really spicy because I like it spicy.
Me
But
too.
I'm also using I don't remember what it is called in um American. Let's see here. I had to figure out how to say that because I don't. Sour cream, sour cream.
Oh, okay.
So I have like sour cream with no it's like not as hardcore milk in it. It's better for your stomach if you can't have milk.
Right.
Um and then I put that over the tikka masala, so it will be like it will taste like heaven and hell. So you get like a fine combination of it, both like the spice and the freshness, and and it's just like, mwah, I love it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hail to Orville Nation. He says, hey
Hey,
there
hail.
with a hand waving. Good to catch you live. It's great to have you here watching live. Today's a rare day where I didn't get any news articles. Like I was telling Jason beforehand, I found some news articles I could have covered, but I was like, eh. Like, I'm sure anyone that read the article drop in the Gilded, make sure you're part of Talkslot Town Square for access to all the weird articles that I find and shit. But 100 dolphins died in the Amazon because the water temperature in the lake they were in hit 102 degrees. Water.
Yep.
Okay. Hottest water I've ever been in naturally occurring was about 74 degrees. And that's because it was a hot spring.
Yeah.
All right. Like, I can't imagine getting into that hot of water. Like, that sounds
Yeah.
fucking terrible. But yeah, Orville Nation says, poor dolphins. Indeed, it's like, holy
Indeed,
crap.
yeah.
But, the Amazon is apparently experiencing the worst drought ever, like a tenth of the rain they're supposed to get in a year. But like I said,
Yeah.
I didn't really feel like discussing dolphins or the Amazon or anything like that.
Yep.
So we're just here chatting. We're, talking about food and shit. It's a good time.
Yep.
I do have something pressing to show you guys. So yep. Yeah, look at that man's face. Just demonstrating, just simple demonstrations. No context.
Oh, that's great.
And then I do have one more. So this is just the best example of a guy living his life to the best. All right. Yeah. Mental serenity for this man right here. He's just getting a quick pump in, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, all right."
Well, that's a nice start of the day, maybe.
It
Just
is.
woke
It is.
up and.
What's really
I
funny
mean,
though, I'll bring that back up, and we can just analyze some stuff real quick. So obviously, homeboy's standing in front of a window, and it says "peace"
yeah.
in front of it. If I had to guess, this is a yoga studio.
Yeah.
And homie's all like, "Oh, look at
Oh,
me,
yeah.
ladies." And, or gentlemen, whichever one,
Yeah.
he's actually
Yeah. Maybe
appealing
it's just
to at that
showing
point.
off,
Right?
I'm good at this,
Why are you gay? That is exactly the clip that the banana thing is from. You are correct.
Yeah.
Radioactive says, I would have thought the dolphins would know how to get out of the sauna and go back to the pool. You'd think. Who knows? I actually do know all the details, but so he's getting a piece of glass. Oh yeah, hardcore, bro. But yeah, last week has been fucking crazy, just overall. Just to throw things out there, Tuesday show's not going to be happening anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, the way some women dress for yoga. Yeah,
Yeah,
legit.
indeed.
And hail to Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank.
Hey,
How you doing,
Lester.
bro?
Gotta love and hate tech all at the same time.
Yep. I understand that, brother.
Word.
Bang my head against the site. Like, you're not letting me download the file. And then I'm just checking with my coworkers. I go, nope, same thing happening. So it's like, and this is why I have my grumblings about the interwebs.
Yep.
Like, oh my God, the cloud, it's so great. Until you get.
Dude, yeah. So the Xbox, like, I still play on an old Xbox One, right? And
really?
they've tried integrating this whole cloud gaming thing where they're like, you don't need to download the games anymore. I'm all like, joke's on you, bitch. I might as well be working on an N64 right now because cloud games on an Xbox One.
No,
Like,
it doesn't work good.
I'll be playing Wo Long, right?
Yeah.
And just the Xbox One gets like 85% of the glitches in that game. So like I'll be running and I'll like start attacking people, and next thing I know, I'll like rubber band, and then I'll wind up like 70 feet back from where I was with one hit left on my health bar. And I'm like, why? Why would you do that? And
Yeah.
like, I don't want to even get into Cyberpunk with the Xbox One. They're all like, "Oh, we
No,
fixed
I don't
everything," and it's
recommend
like,
it.
"Ha ha 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 ha!" It's an Xbox
Mm.
One. They don't fix anything. I'm not even gonna get security updates in a month. I mean, come on.
I have an Xbox Series, so
Oh yeah.
I did
I
get
would
that
if they
one.
weren't if they didn't charge so fucking much for these consoles. I would absolutely have a next gen, but
Yeah.
That's why I'm just going. I think especially I don't know if it's a thing, but I keep hearing stuff about the gaming industry. Some folks going on strike, right? And I'm just thinking like
Yeah. No, things cost way too much when it comes to
I'm just
consoles,
thinking
and
I'm going back to old school. I told Cory about my playing Fate of Atlantis, and I'm thinking number one, why didn't they make that the sequel to whichever, whether we're talking Temple of Doom or Raiders, and maybe
yeah.
skip Last Crusade, or maybe after Last. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe, but Fate of Atlantis. It's a 1992 game on the PC,
Yeah.
and
No, this is why I
very
miss the good old days. The good old days, you just bought the game, you had a console, you got everything. You don't need to pay to win and pay for
right.
DLCs and pay this and that. Just come on, dude. I'm a gamer, but I don't want to buy and pay for every little single thing.
Right. Hold on
there's
one sec, guys. So, Orville Nation says I should come on and exhibit my channel, We Grow Together stream. I'll absolutely love to do that. I have a feeling we have lots of followers who are not subbed to you yet. Probably, but the reason I got to that is because he's got a run. So, Orville Nation, thanks for catching some of the
Thanks for
stream.
being here.
Always great to have you around. If you're in the Gilded, Talks Town Square, that's the easiest way to talk to me, because I'm not on Twitter or X, whatever it's called these days. So that'd be the best way. If you just feel like sending me an email, it's sir.talksalot.yt@gmail.com. But yeah, I'm actually starting to agree with Radioactive. It's about time to
Yep.
move back to PC gaming.
Well,
Yep.
they're suffering the same thing. They are suffering the same thing because PC, like, good luck trying to buy a game, and all you're doing is getting a download code. It's the same
Yep.
deal. You go to a store and you supposedly look like a Blu-ray case, but it's just you're just
code
paying for
card.
the code to
Yeah.
do the game. So you don't own the game anymore. That's the main thing. Like that's
Yep.
why
Yep.
that's why I go to
And
GOG.com.
Well,
and
and I
again,
have an interesting story about that,
Oh,
actually.
sure.
Okay.
Just one sec, though. Vince is actually talking about what we're talking about right here is with cloud gaming, just like movies and music, you don't own the game, movie, music, etc. They
Yep.
can take it away from you at any time. And so I have a physical copy of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
Yep.
I put it into my system to install it.
Yep.
It gets halfway through, and then it says this license is not valid.
Oh,
And I have a fucking disc. I have a
oh,
disc. All right. Hail
Man.
to Maria with T.A.L.
Oh, that fucking
Wonderful to see you.
sucks, bro.
Yeah.
oh.
Like, how is the license invalid? It's an official. I bought it online
So,
from them.
I
and it
don't know.
doesn't-
If it's, I don't know. I don't know if it's changed, but when I was supporting Xbox, there were two licenses. It was like the game license and the console license. They had to do some things to sync the two together. I don't know if it's like that anymore because of how they're moving to this new model. And I don't know whoever thunk of that, because I troubleshot Xbox networking and it is more demanding than anything on the planet. I think it still is. And it's like, who the hell would have wanted to go to that model in the first place? Because I troubleshot all sorts of stuff. A lot of Call of Duty calls when I was doing Xbox networking support, man. Like, oh, that hop. Yeah, you see that data loss? Yeah, I gotta fix it. I gotta fix it. It's just, and why go to that model when you know, like, hop this, hop that? You're losing data. Your packets are lost. That's why I generally don't want online game anymore, because the populace has gotten so much younger, and I hate to say it, it's gotten less mature.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, like, Not like I understand we want to progress as a society, but there's a point where kids got to learn how to deal with conflict in person. Like back in the day, pro wrestling, we got in each other's faces, like we talked crap to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
remember back in the day playing a lot of fucking games online, and we just talk shit to each other, and we do not fucking care. We just get angry, talk shit. But these people today, man, they get so sad. They get, oh my god,
Dude,
it's
it's
just like,
ridiculous. The people online today act almost like the game is everything.
oh,
And
yeah,
that they also act like part of the game is being the epitome of a trash human being.
okay.
yeah,
Like I used to screw around a lot back when Reach first came out. Like,
yeah,
I when they first had the infection thing before they patched it and everything, you could betray your own people and not get booted from the game. And so I would play infection and I would wind up with like I'd have 25 kills and I would wind up with a score of -46 at the end of the game because
mm.
I would just like liquidate all my teammates all the time. I'm like, screw you bitches,
Yeah,
and like, of course, that got me blocked by a lot of people on Xbox, but like they were aggressive about it, but they were nowhere near what I'm seeing in today's like voice lobbies, if you will, the voice chat
Okay.
inside these games
yeah,
where they're like literally threatening death and violence to
yeah.
people.
And doxing and go to Twitter
Yeah,
to dox you and all that kind of just come on, grow some fucking balls, man.
for
Come
So
real.
on.
I don't know if this is insider baseball anymore, but you're talking about the what do they call it? The chat rooms or whatever it is on Xbox, right?
Yeah.
That was like one of the common call drivers because we used to have a legacy of what we call connectivity rangers, and these people tested router after router to
Mm,
mainly figure out how good is the NAT capability on a given router, whether we're talking your run of the mill
Yeah.
Frontier, whatever gateway, right? And then your big names like Netgear, D-Link, and whatever. But that was
mm,
the thing that we often troubleshot was like you couldn't hear each other in those whatever those things were called, and
Yeah.
that was just a trip. Just like get a better router because
Right.
even they
yeah,
tested them because they would go to the lengths to test if people can run 3 Xboxes in the same household on one router, and that legacy of connectivity troubleshooting is lost. I'll say that for sure because
Yeah.
once things started, they're trying to move it from our tribal based KB or knowledge base over to public facing. That never works. But anyway, you're talking about the chat issues. Like, oh my god, I remember having to.
Yeah. And it's actually like Xbox, the more they try to advance their shit for these new systems,
Yeah.
the worse it gets on the Xbox One. So they fully
Oh,
integrated Twitch into the Xbox menu, right?
I remember.
yeah.
Okay.
So I can't get the party chat to work where like if I'm playing with my brother, you can't hear him on the stream, even if he's
Oh,
got all his settings set up and
yeah,
Oh
everything. And
my
I'm all like,
god,
okay,
that
so
oh
yes,
man.
how interesting is it for people to watch a one-sided conversation where they have absolutely no idea what the fuck I'm talking about
Right.
because
yes,
it's in reference to things he's saying. It's like,
yes.
Oh jeez.
and then on top of that, like they streamlined some of the network things to try and make online matchmaking a little smoother for people.
Right.
But for the Xbox One, it makes the drop rate like 3 times higher
Oh
for
yeah.
Oh,
matches.
yeah.
So like, and
Oh
even when I'm
man.
playing with like my brother, once again, if I'm playing with him,
Yeah.
like it'll randomly be like, yeah, you can't do that. I'll be like, I was in the middle of a boss fight, and all
Oh,
of a sudden I can't play with Jeremy anymore. Like, what the fuck?
oh man.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Video
I don't
games,
know.
like technology at one point was making life easier.
It was.
At one
Yes.
point. But
It
now
was.
we're getting to the point where it's like, how complicated does it need to be
Right.
to like do anything? Like this morning,
Yep.
Gilded was down for me for like 2.5 hours. I'm like, why? I'm sitting there trying to open it up and share out streams and like chat with people and stuff, and it's just sitting there spinning the little G.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, guys.
There's always some problems with technology all the time.
It's almost like it's almost as if I might need to unplug my computer and say, "Hey guys, if you want what I have on my computer, bring your flash drives."
Dude, I'm literally at that point. Like,
Yo.
we have
Bring
one of
your
those
flash
networked
drives.
printers where anyone in the house can print over Wi-Fi or whatever. Doesn't work. Like, we literally have to like, oh, you need to print something off. We'll slap it on an external, bring it over here. I'll hook it up to the hardwired computer.
Well, that's why I, as far as my connectivity with my network printers, they're all hardwired. That to me is like, if I could do it, I even have a USB-C to Ethernet. So if I really wanted to be a stickler, I go, "Hey phone, you're going Ethernet, baby."
Hardwired, yeah. Dude,
But
the Ethernet was the epitome of internet connectivity, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they've improved some things, but when it came, like, you could link systems together, play video games together. You could link computers together and make your own super network. Like all kinds of stuff. And then they're all like wireless, Bluetooth, everything. And I'm like,
the things you learn, like when we were doing connectivity training, we are just talking about the do's and don'ts of Wi-Fi setup. And so some person called like, "So where's your router hooked up?" "It's by the laundry room." Like, the worst place to put a router. Because the thing is, it's like wireless interference. As much as people don't want to acknowledge it, it is a thing.
Oh,
the walls,
it
you
really
have to,
is.
The walls, and especially the kind of walls, like the number one culprit is like lead paint walls, as we were trained.
Yeah, lead paint and concrete, baby. Best things you can get for a signal. Like, dude, on that note, my house gets the extra added bonus of having like 1960s wiring in it. So like, there's like rogue EM fields that's all like, "Oh, your computer's hardwired, but there's no signal coming through for some reason." You know, and I'm like, "What do you mean?" And I go downstairs, the router's working fine, and of course, I have Xfinity, so there's only one part of the house that has the cable running into it.
Yeah.
And they want like $170 to run a new cable. And I'm like, no. But
wait a minute. Wait, are you talking about like adding another place to put?
No. Like changing where I can put the router. They want $170 just to come out. Because Colorado is Colorado and they charge out the butt for everything. But it's literally like right next to two concrete walls.
Oh, jeez.
Right?
Damn.
And the main electrical runs through the ceiling over the top of it.
Okay. All right.
And I'm like, and I tried the signal boosters.
Oh yeah.
Those didn't help for shit. Those things are worthless.
No.
Like I tried finding a new place to put it. Like I got one of those giant ass coaxial cables to run across the entire house.
Yeah.
And all it does is get in the way.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, so I can trip to death or I can have spotty internet.
Right. And that's why I to this day am glad that my apartment complex only accepts cable or FiOS or fiber. So I have fiber. Thank God. And
if you are gonna,
I want fiber so bad.
If you are gonna play games on a computer, use a fucking cable. Don't use Wi-Fi. Because that fucking sucks.
I mean, I know people like talk about gigabit internet, but honestly, I don't need gigabit internet to play games. Like, because most people don't understand. The most important asset in your internet connection is likely your upload speed. So I'm lucky with fiber that my upload and my download speeds are more or less the same.
Oh, that's good.
So it's good. I can run my own little server if I want. And I asked my fiber company, "Do you guys cap?" Because I've heard stories about Comcast or Xfinity capping all day long.
Yep.
And they go, "No, we don't cap you." Even for uploads? "No, we don't cap you." Okay.
That's nice. That's nice.
But it's just I am also lucky I'm in an apartment where I don't have to worry about drilling holes in the wall. Because I understand my dad's plight, because he'd have to do that when we networked our computers finally. And I used to take a lot of these hand-me-down computers and I network them. Just because I got inspired by a friend of mine, just because he had his computers networked. But network printing was a lifesaver because you didn't have to have a computer running. You just had to have the printer running, and it was as long as it was hard connected to the network. That was a godsend. Like I don't like USB too much. Like it's got its place and it's got its convenience. But
Yeah.
if I had my druthers, I wish FireWire was the standard. If Mac did one thing right, I was streaming.
Vince says he was streaming.
He broke Gilded. He broke it.
He says that it wasn't his fault, but I'm with Lester on this. It was.
No, it
I
happened.
didn't even know that was a capability. I didn't even know what Gilded was until either you or Nick Weiser talked about it, and I
probably
see
Nick Weiser.
Yeah, I was just looking at these links like Gilded. What's Gilded?
Yeah, it's. I know you can stream to Gilded, but I still don't understand how it works. So I just use it as more of like community building.
Yeah. And it's got
That's what I do too.
It's got a better layout than Discord because I didn't even know what Discord was years ago. I still don't know. I still don't know the attraction.
I have used Discord since it basically came out. So that's why I'm so familiar with Discord because, I've been using it since it came out when I was young. But it has a lot of fucking problems, and I miss back in the day. Discord was a lot better. It was no paying for anything. You could, just have it normally, yada yada. But now they have pay for this, pay for that, and you will get better, quality on the streaming when you talk to people and all that. But come on, dude. It was the reason why we liked you back in the day because we didn't have to pay for anything.
Right.
Oh, yeah. That's one thing I noticed.
Also taking a really weird route with all this AI shit too.
Oh, really?
In my opinion. Yeah, because they're allowing they have their own built-in AI art generator now.
Oh.
Yeah, and I know a few people who use it and they use it well, but it's because they took 40 hours out of their life to figure out the command prompts and stuff. And I'm like, that is unnecessary. It's a gaming chat server. If I'm not mistaken. So why does it need AI?
Yeah, Discord has always been a gaming chat thing. It's always been like that, and that was the point with it for gamers. And then it became a lot more different, and now it's good for community and talking to people and shit, just like Gilded and stuff. That's normally what I use it for, to talk with friends and watch movies together and all that kind of stuff. But I really miss back in the day when Discord was better, and I didn't you have to pay for it for a lot of stuff. It's just and it has a lot of technical issues all the fucking time. I think it was 3 days ago, was it, when Discord was hacked or something? Okay. So it was it said that a lot of people who was on Discord, the app, you're blocked. So it's your IP and everything's blocked.
Ooh.
So it took hours before they actually got to fix it.
That's not good.
No.
Vince talking about Gilded streaming, he says it's not a stream like you think of it. It's technically just a video chat. So no stream ID to link up your multi-stream. Okay. That's very basic then. But I mean, if it works, it works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my brain broke just now.
No, that's okay. No, we were just our tech angering or whatever you call it. Yeah.
I'm just gonna watch some astronauts fall over for a minute. This is rarely seen footage. Yes, this is actually rare footage from NASA of the astronauts on some of the first spacewalks tripping over the moon. Yeah.
Wow.
And I think it's just looping at that point, but you never think about astronauts actually falling in space.
No,
you don't.
It's a weird thing.
Because I was taught there's no gravity in space.
Right.
Yeah.
So you guys got any fun plans for future streams or anything?
Well, I still don't know. It's a matter of time and day. I mean, I work a 8 to 5-er, and I do try to catch other people's streams. I'm still much of a consumer.
I feel that.
Mm,
I'm so much more a
yeah.
consumer than I am a producer at this point. What about you,
It's
Yeah.
just,
Jason?
I forgot to announce on the last stream that we're getting Mike Barron back on the
oh,
channel
Oh, nice.
this month. He's releasing one of his other comics, and he just joined Ripoverse.
Mm.
oh,
Um, yeah, so that's pretty cool. So my good friend is coming back on our channel, and we're gonna, talk about comics, talk about how it is to join the Ripoverse because Chuck Dixon is also there, another good friend of mine. So that is pretty fun that both of my friends are there. I'm just like, oh shit, both of the legendary creators are in there now. That's pretty cool.
That's
Um,
awesome.
and no, we the same old Beyond shows. And I started with the 5cast thing that I used to have on Sundays. I've kind of recreated that show a little bit. So,
mm,
I try to invite different guests and we talk about various stuff and
Hell
working on
yeah.
some videos. Because one thing, I'm a big Star Wars guy, a really hardcore Star
mhm.
Wars guy. And I'm so fucking sick and tired that when a lot of people are making videos and stuff like that about the expanded universe, they add in the Clone Wars TV series that was never expanded universe. So
Yeah.
that I don't. There's not many videos about Asajj Ventress, one of my favorite characters, because they every time someone makes a video about her, they continue with the Clone Wars TV series. I'm like, no, there's only one Clone Wars
Oh,
series,
oh,
and that's
oh.
the 2003 to 2005 one. And after that, you have comics, and I'm adding all those expanded universe comics until you get to see her again when she has like cybernetic eyes and she's damaged and all that, and then she leaves after a lot of battling. I'm not going to spoil the whole thing, but she leaves the Clone Wars, she leaves everyone, and that's like her last story.
So
She
I
leaves.
wasn't seeing things then because I remember there was something. I think it was either Disney or Cartoon Network. I forgot who aired it, but there was a Clone Wars before the Clone Wars that.
Yes, 2003 to
Yeah, that one.
2005,
Yeah, so I
the
wasn't.
original, the OG, the expanded
Yeah,
universe
right.
version.
Hail to the
So
lovely Sherry. That's
hey,
wonderful to have you
Hello.
here, ma'am.
so I am making videos about my favorite characters in the expanded universe. And it's not no Disney stuff, the Clone Wars from 2009, nothing like that. All original expanded universe stuff that I'm working on with my favorite characters, because there's not
Hell
many
yeah.
people that have done that. So
So that's the thing. Like I joke about it all the time. There hasn't been a conciliar council about any science fiction property, even fantasy. Like, I think depending on the people who inherited the property, like take Tolkien for example. I
mhm.
think up until recently, the Tolkien estate was pretty tight on what can be done to
I
what.
would agree with that.
Yeah. So I hate to say it, as much as George Lucas likes to say that's not canon, that's canon. This and then now we Disney and its overlords, this is canon, that's not canon. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
bring the faithful all together. And I'm sorry, but we don't have a Palpatine to convene a council for us.
See, and that's the thing that gets me about these studios and these fucking creators. All right.
Okay.
They think that they get to decide what's canon. And no offense, guys, but you don't. The fan base who's been consuming it and building upon it for years ultimately gets to decide what's canon. And Disney, Ray's not canon. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. None of the
Right.
Disney sequels are canon. I
Nothing of Disney
reject
Star
it.
Wars is
Yeah,
canon
I
at all.
reject it
Because
wholeheartedly and unabashedly.
And
because
what they do is that they also have creators that don't care about the IP or the source
yeah,
Mhm.
material at all, and people are always people always forget that George Lucas had a big part of the expanded universe. He loved the expanded universe,
He did.
and he was the one who green light a lot of this, and like, oh yeah, I like this. This is good. This we can release and all that. He was a big part of it all. People forget that, unfortunately.
Mhm.
we and there's no one's agreed on what's canon because a lot of what's gone on, it's like they haven't spent time. Like, I hate to say it, when the church fought over stuff, it took centuries to really decide on something. So I don't know if it's going to take us centuries to figure it out, but I would like to think it would take us a considerable amount of time to figure it all out. Because between the OG trilogy, the EU, and all the games, like I'm just getting into Dark Forces, and I'm just
Yep,
getting into
Dark Forces
Empires
is
at
good.
War. What was that?
Yeah, Dark Forces is good.
And Kyle, what's his name? Kyle Katarn. Learning
Cal
that character,
Katarn, yeah,
and
he's an
his
amazing
story,
character. He's an amazing character, and it just continues more and more when he becomes a Jedi. You know, all that kind of stuff is just an amazing experience in the expanded universe.
All right. Hold on. Radioactive says George Lucas loved Robot Chicken, Star Wars, and Family Guy Blue Harvest, as did I.
Same
Okay,
here.
I'm not gonna lie.
And he loved fan films.
Something dark side.
Yep, and he loved fan films also that Disney does not love because they can attack you for it, and they're gonna be like, yeah, just look what happened to Star Wars Theory back in the day when they gave him the green light and then they attacked him because of music.
Vince says that George supported fan creations with informations and some assets.
Nice.
Yep, he really cared about it, but Disney doesn't. And George was a fun guy, you know, when it comes to all this. He supported so much of that. But Disney is trying to ruin his name. It's like they also released a TV series on Vice about George Lucas and his Star Wars story. And what they did with the Vice thing was just trashing George Lucas, that he didn't do anything with the story, and his ex-wife did basically everything with the story, and I'm just like, no, I have read the original script. They even made one of the yeah, and they even made back in the day with Dark Horse, George Lucas and Dark Horse, they created a comic book of the original concept before it was even a movie, the original first concept of Star Wars.
So I got a question for you guys, because you're probably much bigger into the comic book realm than I am. I literally stopped consuming in 2008 and haven't picked one up since. But is Dark Horse still around?
I think
yes, if I don't remember wrong, they are still around.
I know they were struggling for a little bit.
Were they?
If I don't remember wrong, I think someone else did buy them up. Let me just double.
Yeah, we might need to do a quick gloss on that because I've heard different things. Like Dark Horse was going away.
Because they did some of my favorite stuff back in the day. Like, don't ask me to recall titles at the moment because my brain's not there. But I remember loving Dark Horse comics in general for a while, and then
they made a lot of good stuff back in the day. They were the main source for like a lot of the expanded universe, a Ninja Gaiden, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Aliens, Predator, Terminators. Like they had such a big list of good stuff. Hellboy, the original good Hellboy, Sin City. And I had to double check. Yes, there is another company kind of now that owns it, and that is the Swedish gaming company Embracer Group that now basically owns it. They bought it in 2022, and so they are still doing stuff, but there's been a lot of talks of when it comes to like comics and stuff, what route they will go, if they're gonna do more woke stuff, if they're not gonna do we don't know.
I didn't know the Swedes made comics or even had interest in comics.
No, and Embracer Group, you know, was one of the original Nordic original Nordic games in 1990s and 2004 and stuff. So originally Embracer is mostly just gaming.
Okay.
But they bought up a company that they bought up Dark Horse, and it's kind of weird that a gaming company, but depends, you know, gaming company can do a lot of stuff with games and make them into comics too if they want to. So yeah.
True facts. Hail to John Edgar. He says, greeting gents, just here on a quick work break to smack that like button. Sorry I missed out on the chat. Well, there's always next time, my friend. Always next time. And make sure that everyone watching hits that like button, and make sure that you subscribe to my fine panelists here. We've got Lester over at The Skeptic Tank. He's awesome at what he does. And of course, Jason Fox over at 540 Studios. Barely even need to pitch Jason to anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know Jason, then you know he's awesome.
So thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. I have another stupid video for you guys, but I want you to predict what's going to happen.
I could always use another one.
This man is riding his bike. What do you think is going to happen?
He might
beat his.
He might hurt, or he might flip, or something. He's going to have an accident. He's going to
hit
crash.
his balls.
Yeah, those are pretty gimmies. I watched this and I had like this weird strong connection to this guy. Like, you know, the guy riding the bike is me. And the side of what we're about to see is YouTube success. But this is just what happens, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Oh, God.
Do you think he has eyebrows left after that?
Oh, God.
Nah, not since he's wearing his hat backwards. If he was wearing his hat forwards, he might have actually saved his eyebrows. But Vince said hole. Close. He created a hole. Probably right about here.
Yeah.
And no, Vince, I don't watch oddly satisfying videos. I do watch oddly terrifying ones, though. Can't share those on YouTube. They would get upset.
Yep.
And yeah, that couldn't have felt good. But once again, the youth of our nation. That's the future leader of America, ladies and gentlemen. That's where all my hope for the future is.
He wants some ice cream, you know, and that happens.
Yeah. So much for Whitney Houston's belief in youth.
Right?
Oh, goddamn.
But
yeah, no, Dark Horse was good back in the day. It really was. If it wasn't for Dark Horse, we wouldn't have gotten so much Star Wars content.
Right?
Yep.
So, Warner Brothers isn't really doing much right now as far as, like, you know, eye raising or can't wait for that shit.
I don't know if it's stemming around what's going on with Aquaman and all that, because of the James Gunn transition, whatever.
And that's what I was going to ask you about is, do you think that they're kind of holding back a little bit because of the transition, or do you think that
I'm going to say this, James Gunn should just shut the fuck up, because he has no fucking plan, and he's just talking out of his fucking ass and fighting people on Twitter and saying this and that. It's like she said, he said. At some point, he said, "Oh, Ben Affleck is, helping me creating a movie." Ben Affleck came out and said, "No, I'm not doing anything with you." And then you have, "Oh, Wonder Woman 3 is gonna happen," and he's like, "No, that's not gonna happen." It's like, this is just a clusterfuck of a disaster. And now he said, like, everything that comes out before his creature commando. It's not canon. It's like it's not a part of his story, but he's still is gonna use John Cena's Peacemaker. He's gonna have Amanda Waller from the Suicide Squad, and he is gonna have Blue Beetle. And Blue Beetle was kind of gonna be the first part of his thing, his universe, but it's not. But it is. Yeah.
Who's excited for the Blue Beetle?
Nobody.
Let's be
honest.
Okay, he had one of the biggest flop launches of any character that I've seen in a really long time. I know he has some diehard fans, but like he is not.
And Chuck Dixon did a lot of Blue Beetle stuff back in the day with Titans, the Teen Titans stuff.
Yeah, the Teen Titans stuff. Yeah, but when it comes down to Blue Beetle on his own, it's like you guys.
He was fun, and on his
he's
own.
An ensemble character.
Yes, you need a good writer to make him interesting.
Well,
that's the thing.
Here's what killed it for me, and say whatever you want, but that trailer didn't do favors for me.
And that
didn't.
movie did not
Right.
do a favor either.
No,
It was a
well,
trash
the
hole.
fact it had George Lopez and the way that
Batman
He's
the
Bruce
way
allowed to
Wayne
he
work.
is
no,
a
not just
fascist.
that, not just that, but the whole. It's just if you watch Comics Division's review, I pretty much echo those sentiments because it's like
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
you, you can appeal to a demographic without dumbing down to the demographic. It's like
Right.
someone making something distinctly for a Filipino audience. I'm like, I can see what you're trying to do, and it's not working on someone like myself.
Yep.
Yeah, and
And it is
I
sad
had
because they had
similar experiences with the music stuff. People are like, "You have to dumb it down."
yeah.
I'm like, "No, I
And
don't
it's
want to."
also, I feel bad for the actor in a way because this movie flopped hard, and he did a
Well,
great success in Cobra Kai. That's the thing.
like the concept of the Blue Beetle, I didn't know who the heck Blue Beetle was. DC for me is still Superman and Batman. Wonder Woman maybe because of Linda Carter. See, that's a different reason
Yeah,
altogether.
yeah. No, I
Right.
get you. I get you.
But
Vince Womack says, "Good thing about Blue Beetle crashing and burning is that they won't bring in Booster Gold and screw him up as well." I have what might be an unpopular opinion here, but I fucking hated Booster Gold.
okay,
Like, I didn't like him as a character. I didn't like him. I didn't like the writing that they put into him. He's just not my cup of tea.
right.
I like people who are established, like, morally and stuff like that, and not realizing, time traveling to fake it isn't the best way to be a hero. But whatever.
No. No, you cannot like every character. It's like that's
No.
how I am with a lot of stuff. I don't like every single character.
Yeah.
There's a lot of characters I like, and other characters I'm like, I don't really care, bro. It's like I don't care about Captain America. It's like it's a character I really don't care much about. I
Right.
care more about Spider-Man, the X-Men, and all that kind of stuff. It really varies of what character you feel you like. You can't like
Right.
everything.
Right. When
Radioactive says, "What happened to 20th Century
it's
Fox?"
called being sat on by Disney.
Yeah, Vince says
Literally
Disney
being sat
bought it.
on. Yeah, which is basically just like
Yep.
it's like Disney's sitting on it, and it's constipated as flap, right?
It
It's like
really is.
I'm all right. Just give me a few more minutes, and it's gonna come out of that end. You know what I mean? I just haven't done my job of just chatting on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can say like this: I feel bad for people who likes Booster Gold because James Gunn has plans of making a comedy series out of it. That's something he confirmed. So
But if he's
What does
gonna
James Gunn know about comedy?
if he's gonna start doing what he says he's gonna do, then he shouldn't have. A lot of people are saying he shouldn't have even talked about bringing those folks back, which I get. If you're talking about redoing the entire canon, then why retain the previous work?
Right.
And it's
because that's how he is. In a way he considers his the Suicide Squad kind of in the canon in a way because he's still using those characters. He's still using John Cena's Peacemaker and Amanda Waller, and Amanda Waller is getting her own fucking series also.
She's the bad guy.
but wait a minute, like
you want to give a bad guy of its own series, then do a proper Riddler show.
Yeah, and then it comes out, and then he fires Henry Cavill, and he started talking about because of age this, age that, and then he got caught in a way, and then some people asked, but the elder actor is not that, he's like older too, like he's 30 or something now. And then James Gunn goes back on what he said, and just like, oh no, it wasn't because of the age, and yeah. But that's what you fucking said about Henry Cavill. He was too old, and then you cast a guy who looks like a Wish version of Henry Cavill. Just like, why, dude? You want the look of Henry Cavill, so you are casting a guy who looks like Henry Cavill but you fired the guy everybody wanted, and
it's funny because apparently, depending on what pundit you listen to, sometimes some would say it's the guy wasn't workable or they couldn't work with him. I'm sorry, but sometimes if you know that the talent is there, as long as it's not like a legal liability and he does it, like he has to really be a torch towards overall team chemistry. I don't know if he's that much of a wreck, but if he's that good at his job, you're gonna suck it up and you're gonna you're gonna
With James
suck it
Gunn,
up, Buttercup.
it can always be a hit and miss, but he uses the same comedy in every little single thing. It
Yeah.
worked, it worked with Guardians of the Galaxy because the comics has really similar vibe with the comedy, so it works there. But then you have the Suicide Squad, the same comedy he had in Guardians of the Galaxy, just more R-rated, didn't work. And then he stepped up in Peacemaker with that comedy, didn't work. I like dark stuff, but I didn't work. And
Oh no,
again,
I was talking about Henry Cavill that
oh yeah,
people
yeah,
Well,
it's hard to work with, but I'm just saying if
oh
he
yeah,
is
yeah,
like the best actor for the job, you suck it up, Buttercup.
yeah, because
yeah.
let's be honest,
He is a
we have
geek,
had a
He
long history of really good actors that are really difficult to work with, but they've given us our favorite movies.
Right.
yeah,
My brain, Bruce Willis is notoriously hard to work with because he doesn't like to take direction.
yeah.
Obviously, that's not a problem anymore because he can't even understand human
And
language. But
Incredible Hulk was a better Hulk than we got in the MCU now.
yeah, but my regards towards Henry Cavill being too old
Yeah.
is he's in better shape than 90% of the people younger than him.
Yeah.
He
And he
looks like
knows
he's
source
still
material.
fucking like 26, 27 years old. So I don't see how that's an
Yeah.
issue. You can't say it's a physical health problem. I've seen him.
Yep.
And
I know
let's
he loves the source material and he
and
knows what he's doing. That's the thing.
Hollywood is not shy about de-aging actors.
Nope.
They're not shy about it in any way, shape, or form. So age is definitely not the issue. And if it's because he's difficult to work with, then why the fuck are you a Hollywood director?
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know, welcome to Hollywood. They're all divas. They're
Yep.
all fucking crazy. You have to be able to deal with that to be able to be in Hollywood, you know. But I will say
Yep.
that I'm looking forward to any Warhammer 40,000 stuff that comes out under
Yeah,
Henry
and that's one
Cavill.
of his biggest things ever. That's one thing
Mm-hmm.
he's really in love with and knows a lot about. So that I'm excited for it. Excited to see how he can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And he deserves it. And I'm happy that he quit, The Witcher. And I know he got mad at the source. People didn't like the
Yeah.
source material or care about the source material, and that's understandable. And one thing I want to say about James Gunn too, he hates the Tim Burton Batman movie. He did not
Well,
like it. He did
I'm
not.
not. It's not my favorite, but give me a break.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
one of the classics, but he didn't
Mm-hmm.
like that or The Dark Knight as much. He was not a big fan. And now he's doing a Batman movie, and they're gonna skip Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, and all the others. They're gonna go straight to his son Damien in the Batman movie.
I
Why?
I tried getting down. I tried getting into that with the when I was in YouTube movies or Google Play movies, whatever Google
Yeah,
branded it. I tried. I saw some DC content I didn't see in theaters and
yeah,
allowed me to kick
uh,
tires on that. I kicked tires on the
yeah.
Damien thing, and I don't know how to feel about that because
Yeah, no,
some
I
of those
like
are
Damien in the comics back in the day. I like Damien. I've liked him in some animated stuff, but they're skipping the main fucking Robins, and you're not gonna get in
yeah.
a big story with that. But not just that, the guy who was the director of the Flash movie is gonna make. He's gonna make the Batman movie. James Gunn said he loved the Flash so much, so he actually hired
Because
Andy to
James
create
Gunn
the
is a
Batman movie.
boy lover.
he, so
So
he's gonna
he's
create the
so he's not only the NAMBLA president, but he's also a client.
Apparently.
So yeah, it's a lot of things happening right there, and I
Interesting.
know that Warren Bros, if I don't remember wrong, are getting they're getting sued by the Batman Extra.
Oh, Batgirl,
Yeah,
Batgirl,
Batgirl
yeah,
Extra
Extra.
is
Yeah,
suing
I
Warren
heard
Bros
about
after So that's happening with Warren Bros. Since we talked about Warren Bros, so it's a lot of stuff happening with Warren Brothers.
Yeah, and none of it's necessarily good.
that. Well,
In
it's
my
funny
personal
because
opinion, I was hoping that when Discovery came in to take over Warner, that they would
mm,
actually make some immediate changes. But it looks like they're going with the slow 5-year change implementation, like
Yeah,
people always do. And I can understand that it's more expensive to do things fast. But with the state of things, they need quicker recovery than what they're going to get out of
yeah,
all of this shit.
yeah.
Vince Womack says the extra
yeah.
nearly died on set.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like some shit working conditions.
Yep.
I didn't know
And
Hollywood had
a-
shit working conditions.
as as if you're a stunt double, a lot of this stuff is, this might happen. There is people who dies. There are people that
Yeah.
gets injured. That is pretty normal. That's what you kind of
It's
signed
pretty
up for.
normal. Yeah.
It is kind of normal because this is what you signed up for.
Yeah.
I
Some of
have
you may die, but that's a risk I'm willing to take.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Tell
that
that,
is the risk
tell
they are
that to
willing to
Jackie
take.
Chan.
I have worked in this. I make
Mhm.
I edit editing movies series. I've edited stuff and shit, and know a lot of people in the industry, and this is a risk that you do take, but also
Yeah.
the people that are behind the movie and yada, they have to be assured that they can help to provide help to if there's something happens, they have to the stunt doubles, need to go to the hospital. A lot of the whole crew needs to help. That's like the thing. The creators needs to help out with that. Because they are a part of the set. But not all of them really do care, and the movie got axed either way. So maybe they're like, oh, we don't care that the person basically almost died. It's not no problem. It's not a problem
Right.
anymore.
Right.
We don't
Right.
have the movie. We don't have the money anymore.
Yeah.
We spent the money. So whatever happened,
Oh my
it's
gosh, that
fine.
was so like last month. Why are we even still
Yeah,
talking about this?
basically.
Yeah. Well, if they want to guarantee deaths, they could hire Alec Baldwin. But
Oh.
just saying,
Oof,
Oh,
yes.
I I've also heard a lot of talk recently about Hollywood 2.0. That apparently someone is starting in Nevada. I don't remember
Okay.
which major actor it is, but
Uh-huh.
it bothers me that they're calling it Hollywood 2.0
Well,
because we
they
don't need
can't
a
take that
newer.
name. They
Yeah,
can't
we
take
don't.
that name. Norway has that name.
Well, we also don't need a new Hollywood. We need
Right.
something else.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
something else in Hollywood.
Right.
Hollywood 2.0. Okay, I lived through all of the Windows updates, so the 2.0 doesn't install
Yeah.
confidence.
Yeah.
You
Now,
know,
speaking of Norway, Jason, you probably know or might not know Midnight's Edge, Andre. So
Yeah, I know Andre. We are good friends. I know
he
him.
was talking about Troll Hunter, and I'm trying to build up my knowledge of Norwegian folklore. So I'm trying to get my.
good luck.
Good
I
luck.
know,
That's a lot of story
I
in
know,
that
but
now.
I do have Troll Hunter on Blu-ray.
Oh
So
yeah, I love Troll Hunter. It's one of the best Norwegian movies created.
I haven't even heard of that one.
Yeah, it's
Surprisingly,
about, it's a found footage movie, and you have like one of the biggest comedy actors in it too, and it's
okay.
about finding trolls, and
Now,
it's a big
when
one. It's fun.
I have a problem with found footage movies, but only if they're like Cloverfield.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is it like Cloverfield?
No.
Or it's all shaky and shit, and like 80% of the movie's like running across the
No, this
pavement.
is a lot better in my
Okay, good.
opinion, at least. And the CGI in this one is wow, good to be Norwegian because Norway's
Yeah.
not good at that. I remember I saw a movie not long ago. It's about werewolves in a way, and when they turn to
okay.
werewolf, they can never turn back. And I saw one of my old schoolmates. She's a little younger than me. She's like 2 years younger than me or something.
Okay.
And we went to the same fucking school. And I saw her in the movie, and I'm just like, I had to like call my dad and just like, hey. Do you remember that girl, in my school back in the day when I went to that school? Yeah, she was in this fucking trash movie though. Can't act for shit. She did
No,
die
that's
though.
funny. Because it might have been the same movie or something. Like my dad is all over Scandinavian movies for whatever reason, but he watches it with English subtitle, English dub,
Yeah.
and I'm like, why? Because I Scandinavian language like intrigues me because it's very close to Germanic, not quite Germanic, and I can still see some of the similarities it has
Yeah,
within.
Viking Wolf, it would kind of be in English.
Yeah, I think that was the.
Yeah.
Dude,
That was the one. Yeah.
It's trash.
Scandinavian languages break my brain. I can totally understand why they used, what was it, Finnish as the elf or orc language in Lord of the Rings.
You don't want the Norwegian accent because the Norwegian accent is very bad.
It almost reminds me of Metalocalypse. That was pretty good.
Well, I am Norwegian, so I can do the fucking Norwegian accent, unfortunately. I hate Norwegian so much, dude. I really do.
Really?
Dude,
well,
I hate
I-
Norway.
Oh, dude, Norway's so
Norway
bad.
is a trash
It is
fucking woke shit fucking country.
so bad.
I fucking
Vince
hate it.
Womack says the problem with Cloverfield is for the flashbacks they used VHS style looking transitions for on a
Yeah.
digital camera.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that really bugs me about a lot of modern movies is they're not willing to use traditional equipment to achieve traditional looks and settings and stuff like that. They always try to do like, oh well, we'll touch it off, we'll touch it up in post. And it's like, okay, just use a 35 millimeter camera. It's not that fucking hard. It's then you can.
And
get
I agree with you, and I work with film
amazing
stuff, so I agree with you.
Yeah, and you can get amazing film quality out of a 35 millimeter or a 70 millimeter or, regular film gets you the best film quality you can because there's no digital degrading. It just depends on who's working with what. But ladies and gentlemen, we are past the hour mark, so we're going to go ahead and start winding down. This has been a great conversation. It has improved my mood for the day. And
Good.
I appreciate both of you and everyone in the chat for helping me have a better day so far. But so, Jason, what you got going on? Where can people find you, etc.?
Well, of course, you can find me at 540 Studio, and we are going to stream tomorrow. We're going to go through some news, and one of the news is that Disney has embraced fan fiction and ship fiction with some characters from Rebels as a gay relationship, and they embraced it because Disney are desperate, so they are going after the shippers out there to like, hey, see, we embraced this. Now you can watch our stuff. We love you. We care about you. But they don't. They're just desperate.
Yeah.
And of course, other stuff. And again, thank you for having me on. And like I always say, life's too short, make the most of it. And we on this panel, we are grateful that all of you guys out there are supporting us. And we would not been here today if it wasn't for all of you guys out there. You inspire us every single day. So thank you so fucking much. We appreciate it.
Indeed. Hell yeah. Lester, same thing.
Well, I just put up a review of The Creator, which I watched on Saturday. I gave my
I'm
first
gonna watch that when I have the chance.
First impressions wise, I liked it. I'll see if I can squeeze in time to watch it a second time, and then just my experience wearing minimalist shoes, because I wear different styles or different ways of doing the whole minimalist soul kind of thing, and then because Windows didn't detect my storage device properly, I'm having to reinstall most of my games, and I'll likely have to redo some of the walkthroughs. But if you want some good retro games, number one, go to GOG.com. And no, I'm not a shill. I pay with my own money for these games, but you can get those same games for cheap, and you can own them. So
you mean like actually own them? Wow.
You have an offline installer you can download that you can put on a storage device of your choosing.
Wow.
And the way they do it, no activation, no license keys to remember. You just gotta run the installation and click on launch when it's done. And you've got your game.
And DRM free. What does that mean?
Digital rights management. That means, yep.
Gotcha. All right.
Yep.
Awesome. Definitely make sure you're subscribed to both of these awesome gentlemen. And join me tonight. We're doing Dick's News US. The topic tonight is the upcoming US Supreme Court sessions that they're going to be having. They have a very full session year planned ahead. A lot of things that they're going to be covering. And we're just going to go over it and just discuss these things. I don't know if any of the other Dick's Division guys are going to be there. They're all very busy people. So we'll see. But make sure you join me tonight there. That's 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Mountain Time. So 5 to 6 Pacific,
Mm-hmm.
6 to 7 Central. No, 7 to 8 Central. Yeah, that's right. And then 8 to 9 Eastern. And of course, catch me tonight on Monday Meltdown again if nothing stupid happens to get in the way. Vince says he doesn't know if he can make it to Dick's News. That's all good, bro. If you can't make it, I totally get it. Life happens. And plus, you're like 14 hours ahead of me or some crazy shit like that. So it'd be like really early in the morning for you. You shouldn't do that. Yeah. Try and get some sleep, Vince. I mean, it is okay to sleep every once in a while. At least that's what I tell myself. Not that it ever happens. But for sure, catch you guys later. So stay sexy. Don't get murdered. And as always, have a wonderful time. See ya.